So next is Bayes' theorem. Okay, Bayes' theorem is a combination of multiplication rules and conditional probability. Okay, so the Bayes' theorem, so the probability of A given B is equal to the probability of B given A multiplied by the probability of A over the probability of B. So that is a Bayes' theorem. Okay, so for example, what is the probability of two girls given at least one girl? Okay, so what is the probability of two girls given at least one girl? So the probability of two girls given at least one girl. Okay, so at least one girl. So how do we rewrite that using Bayes' theorem? So to rewrite that using Bayes' theorem, that will be the probability at least one girl given the two girls, okay, multiply by the probability of getting two girls all over the probability of at least one girl. Okay, so that is Bayes' theorem. So what is the probability of two girls given at least one girl? So the probability of two girls given at least one girl, that will be equal to the probability at least one girl, okay, given na two girls, okay, it came from two girls, multiplied by the probability of getting two girls, okay, two girls, over the probability of getting at least one girl, okay, at least one girl. So how do we solve that? Okay, so to solve that, of course, what is the probability of getting at least one girl given na two girls siya? Okay, what is the probability of getting at least one girl in two girls? Of course, it's one. Okay, given it. So given na one na yun. It happened. Okay, it's true. So that's one. Multiply by the probability of getting two girls. Okay, what is the probability of getting two girls? So we have, using the tree diagram, let's say the first cell is girl, the second is girl, the first cell is girl and then boy. It can be boy, girl, or both boys. Okay, so ito yung outcomes if you're referring to two girls. Okay, so what is the probability of getting to two girls in these possible outcomes? It says that two girls, so that will be 1 out of 4. Okay, over the probability of getting at least one girl. So if this is the outcomes, okay, of having two girls, okay, let's say yung first child is a girl, second child is a girl, then the first child is a girl, and then the second child is boy. The first child is boy, and then girl, and then the first child and the second are both boys. So this is the outcome. Okay. So what is the probability of getting at least one girl? At least one girl. So we have 1, 2, 3. So there are 3. Okay, 3 out of 4 outcomes. 3 out of 4 outcomes. So therefore, the answer is 1/3. Okay. So the answer is 1/3. Next. Next example. A particular study shown that 12% of men will likely develop prostate cancer at some point in their lives. A man with prostate cancer has a 95% chance of a positive test result from a medical screening exam. A man without prostate cancer has a 6% chance of getting a false positive test result. What is the probability that a man has a cancer given that he has a positive test result? Okay? So that will be the second problem. A particular study showed that 12% of men will likely develop prostate cancer at some point in their lives. A man with a prostate cancer has 95% chance of positive test result from a medical screening exam. A man without prostate cancer has 6% chance of getting a false positive test result. What is the probability that a man has a cancer given that he has a positive test result? Okay, so how do we answer this one? So how do we answer this? Okay, so we need to look for the probability that a man has a cancer given a positive result. Okay, given a positive result. So man has a cancer given it's a positive result. So that will be equal to probability of positive and has a cancer multiplied by the probability of getting cancer over its positive result. Okay, a positive result. So before that, we need to identify what is the probability of getting cancer. So that will be 0.12. That's according to the problem. Okay, 0.12. How do you get that's according to the problem? There are 12% of men. Okay, so 0.12. And then the probability of getting a positive result and has a cancer, so that will be 0.95. Okay, 0.95. And then the probability of getting the positive result, but he has no cancer, that will be 0.06. Okay, that's according to the problem. Okay, so let's say this is a man. Okay. So the chances of getting cancer, that will be 0.012, and not getting cancer, that will be 0.88. Okay. And then it's a positive, so that will be 0.95, and not positive, that is 0.05. Okay, so positive, not positive. Okay, the result of a cancer is positive, that's 0.95, and not positive, 0.05. Okay. So 0.88 meaning chances of not getting a cancer, okay, that is 0.08. No cancer but it's a positive, so that will be 0.06, and no cancer but it's a negative, that will be 0.94. Okay, 0.94. So therefore, how do we answer it? How do we answer this one? So what is the probability of it's a positive and he has a cancer? So that will be 0.095 multiplied by the probability of getting a cancer, which is 0.112, all over positive. Okay, so what are those in positive? So positive, getting a positive, so that will be 0.12 multiplied by 0.95 plus 0.88 multiplied by 0.06 here. Okay, positive. So therefore, that will be 0.1668. Okay, so the probability of getting positive, regardless if the man has a cancer or not, that will be 0.1668. So 0.1668. So therefore, the answer is 0.683. Okay? So the probability that the man has a cancer, given that he has a positive result, that would be 0.683. Okay? Next example. Example number 3. Box 1. composed of 5 red, 5 green. Box 2, composed of 7 red, 3 green. Okay. Given that the drawn ball is green, what is the probability that it was drawn from box 1 or box 2? Okay, so first, box 1. So what's the probability of getting box 1? So the probability of getting box 1 is 1 over 2. Okay, so the probability of getting box 2 is 1 over 2 also, because there are 2 boxes. And then the probability of getting a green, given na nasa box 1, so that will be 5 out of 10, which is equal to 1/2. And then the probability of getting green, given sa box 2, so that will be 3/10. Okay, 3/10. Now, the question is, what is the probability that it was drawn on box 1 or box 2? Okay, so what is the probability that it was drawn from box 1 or box 2? So the probability that was drawn in the box 2 that given, it's a green. So the probability that box 1 given, it's a green. Okay, so that will be the probability that green is in box 1, multiplying the probability of selecting box 1 over the probability it's green. So that will be 5 out of 10 multiplied by 1/2 over the probability of getting green. Okay, so what is the probability of getting green? Meaning, the probability of choosing box 1, okay, and then the probability that the green came from box 1, plus the probability choosing box 2, and then green come from box 2. Okay, so that is the probability of getting green. So that will be equal to 5/10 multiplied by 1/2 over 1/2 multiplied by 5 over 10 plus 1/2 multiplied by 3/10. So that will be 5/8, or that will be equal to 0.625. Okay, 0.625. Now next, what if it's in box 2? Okay, so box 2 given na green. Okay, sa box 2, if you draw na ball and it's in box 2, pero given na yung ball ay green. Okay? So same thing, so the probability of getting green in box 2 multiplied by the probability of getting box 2 all over the probability of getting green. So same procedure. So we have 3/10 multiplied by 1/2 over the probability of getting green. Okay, so the probability that you will select the box 1, so that will be 1/2 multiplied by the probability of getting green in the box 1, and that will be, or in box 1, that will be 5/10 plus the probability of getting box 2, that will be 1/2, multiply the probability of getting green in box 2, so you do have 3/10. Okay, so if you simplify that, that will be 3/8, or equivalent to 0.375. Okay, 0.375. Okay, another example. Two computer companies sell computer chips to a technology company. Okay. Company A sold 100 chips, okay, of which 5 were defective. Okay. Company B sold 300 chips, of which 21 were defective. Okay. So what is the probability that a given defective chip came from company B. Okay? So two computer companies sell computer chips to a technology company. Company A sold 100 chips, of which 5 were defectives. Company B sold 300 chips, of which 21 were defective. So what is the probability that a given defective chip came from company B? Okay? Came from company B. Identify what is the probability that the computer, that the chips came from company A. So what is the probability that the chips came from company A? So that will be 100 over 400, okay, chips. Okay. And then the probability that the chips came from company B, so that will be 300 out of 400. Okay. So what's the probability of getting the chips from company A? So that will be 100 chips out of 400. And what is the probability of getting the chips in company B? So that will be 300 chips out of 400. Okay, next. So what is the probability of the defective came from company A? Okay, the defective came from company A. So there are 5 defective out of 100 chips. And then the probability of getting the defective came from company B. So you do have 21 out of 300, which is equal to 7 over 100. Okay, 7 over 100. So the question is, what is the probability that a given defective chip came from company B? So the probability that company B, okay, what is the probability that it came from company B given na yung chips are defective? Okay, so what is the probability that it came from company B given that it is defective? Okay, so that will be the probability that the defective came from B multiplied by the probability of getting company B, okay, the probability of getting the chips in company B over the probability of defectives regardless kung sa company A or B. Okay, so what is the probability of getting the defective, that the chip is defective but it came from company B? So that will be 7 over 100. So 7 over 100 multiplied by the probability of getting the chips in the company B, and that will be 300 over 400 all over the probability of getting defectives. Okay, of getting defectives. So the probability of getting defectives, okay, regardless kung sa company A or B, as long as it's defectives. So that will become, okay, so the probability of getting defectives in company A, so you have probability of, is it in company A, so we have 100 so the probability of getting defectives, meaning regardless if came from A or B, as long as it's defective. So the probability of getting it in company A, okay, the chips will be in company A, so that will be 100 over 400 multiply that the defective came from A, okay, so that will be 5 over 100 plus, okay, plus the defective chips came from B, so that will be 300 over 400 multiplied by the probability of getting defective in company B, that will be 7 over 100. Okay, so therefore the answer is 21 over 26. So the equivalent of that one is 0.807. Okay, 0.807. 21 over 26, or that will be 0.08. That will, 21 over 26, or the equivalent of that one will be 0.807. Okay, 0.807. Okay, next example. Next example. A shipment of 2 boxes, each containing 6 telephones, is received by a store. Box 1 contains 1 defective. phone. Box 2 contains 2 defective phones. After the boxes are unpacked, a phone is selected and found to be defective. Find the probability that it came from box 2. Okay? So it came from box 2. So meaning, to visualize the problem, a shipment of 2 boxes, each containing 6 telephones, is received by a store. Box 1 contains 1 defective phone. Box 2 contains 2 defective phones. After the boxes are unpacked, a phone is selected and found to be defective. Find the probability that it came from box 2. So find the probability that it came from box 2 given na defective. Okay? So that is the problem that we need to solve. Find the probability that it came from box 2 given na defective yung phone. So how do we answer that? Using the Bayes theorem. So that will be the probability that the defective came from box 2. Okay. Came from box 2. Multiplied by the probability of it came from box 2 over the probability of defectives. Regardless kung sa box 1 or box 2. As long as it's defective. Okay. So this is the symbol. Okay? So find the probability that it came from box 2 given na defective. So that will be equal to the probability that it is defective given na nasa box 2 multiplied by the probability of selecting box 2 all over the probability of defectives. Okay? So how do we answer that one? How do we answer that one? Okay, first, you need to write the given. What are the given? Okay? So the probability of getting box 1, okay? So the probability of getting box 1, that will be 1 over 2. Okay? So the probability of getting box 1, that will be 1 over 2. And then the probability of getting box 2, that will be 1 over 2 also. Okay? 1 over 2 also. And then the probability that the defective in box 1, okay, given na nasa box 1, that will be 1 over 6. Okay? 1 defective out of 6. That's according to the problem. Okay? 1 defective phone. Okay? Over the 6 phones. And then the defective from the box 2, so that will be 2 over 6. Okay, 2 over 6. So after we identify the given, in the given problem, we can now solve it. So the probability that it came from box 2 given a defective, okay, multiplied by the probability that defective came from box 2, so that will be 2 over 6. Multiplied by the probability of selecting box 2, so that will be 1/2. All over the probability na it's defectives. Okay, it's defective. Regardless kung nasa box 1 or nasa box 2. Okay, so the probability that is in box 1, so that will be 1/2 multiplied by 1 over 6 plus yung defective, we're gonna choose it in box 2. So what is the probability of selecting box 2? So that will be 1/2. Okay, and then the probability nasa box 2 ay defective yon. So there are 2 defective out of 6. So that's the meaning of that one. Okay? So the probability of defectives meaning regardless kung nasa box 1 or nasa box 2. So you need to write the whole thing, everything about defective. Okay? So what is the probability of getting or selecting box 1? That will be 1/2. Okay? And then what is the probability na dun sa box 1, okay, you will select defective. So that is 1 over 6. Okay? Out of 6 phones, there is 1 defective in box 1. Plus, what about the defective in box 2? So the probability of selecting box 2, that will be 1 over 2. And then multiply it, the probability of getting the defective in box 2. So out of 6 phones, there are 2 defectives phone in box 2. So you have 2 over 6. So therefore, the answer is 2/3, or the equivalent of that one is 0.667. Okay? 2/3, or the equivalent of that one is 0.667. Okay? Next example. On a game show, a contestant can select one of 4 boxes. There are 4 boxes. Box 1 contains 1,000 bill and 920 bills. Box 2 contains 2 1,000 bills and 8 20 bills. Box 3 contains 3 1,000 bills and 7 20 bills. Box 4 contains 5 1,000 bills and 5 20 bills. The contestant selects a box at random and selects a bill from the box at random. If a 1,000 bill is selected, find the probability that it came from box 4. Okay, so I repeat the problem. On a game show, a contestant can select one of 4 boxes. Box 1 contains 1 1,000 bill and 920 bills. Box 2 contains 2 1,000 bills and 820 bills. Box 3 contains 3 1,000 bills and 720 bills. Box 4 contains 5 1,000 bills and 520 bills. The contestant select a box at random and select a bill from the box at random. If 1,000 bill is selected, okay, 1,000 bill is selected, find the probability that it came from box 4. Okay? So how do we rewrite the problem into a symbol? Okay? So what is the probability that the 1,000 bill came from box 4? So meaning the probability that it came from box 4. Okay, so the probability that it came from box 4 given na 1,000 bill. Okay, so what is the probability? Okay, what is the probability, or find the probability that it came from box 4 given na 1,000 bill. Okay, so that will be equal to the probability that the 1,000 bill is from box 4. Okay, so the probability of 1,000 bill given its box 4 multiplied by the probability of choosing box 4 all over the probability of 1,000 bill. Okay, 1,000 bill. 1,000 bill. Okay, 1,000 bill. This one is 1,000 bill. 1,000 bill. Okay, so first we need to identify the given in the previous example. So the probability of selecting box 1, that will be 1/4. Why is it 1/4? Because there are 4 boxes. The probability of selecting box 2, that's also 1/4. The probability of selecting box 3, that's also 1/4. And then the probability of selecting box 4, that's also 1/4. Okay, next, the probability that 1,000 given box 1. Okay, so how many 1,000 in box 1? So you do have 1 out of 10. Okay, 1,000 bill out of 10 bills. And then the probability of 1,000 given nasa box 2. So you do have 2 out of 10. The probability of 1,000, selecting 1,000 in box 3. So that will be 3 out of 10. And then the probability of selecting 1,000 given na nasa box 4, that will be 5 out of 10. Okay, so after we write the given, you can now substitute to the given formula symbols that we have. Okay, so the probability of getting 1,000 given in box 4, so that will be 5 over 10 multiplied by the probability of choosing box 4, and that will be 1/4 all over the probability of getting 1,000 regardless kung anong mga boxes Okay? So the probability of getting 1,000 regardless kung anong mga boxes. So let's start with box number 1. So what's the probability of choosing box 1? So that will be 1/4. Okay? So this is your box 1. So choosing box 1 is 1 over 4. Okay? What's the probability of choosing box 1? That's 1/4. And then what is the probability that in box 1, you're gonna choose or you're gonna select 1,000 bill? So multiply it by 1 over 10 because there is 1,000 bill out of 10 bills in box 1. Okay? Plus, okay, this time, let's say the 1,000 bill is in box 2. So what is the probability of choosing box 2? It's still 1/4. Multiply the probability of choosing 1,000 in box 2. So that will be 2/10. So there are 1,000 bills out of 10 bills. Okay? Plus, box 3 naman. So what's the probability of choosing box 3? Still 1/4 because we do have 4 boxes. Okay? And then what is the probability that in box 3, okay, we're gonna select 1,000 bill. So there are 1,000 bills out of 10 bills. Okay? In box 3. Okay? Plus, in box 4, so you do have 1 over 4 in choosing box 4, so that's 1 over 4. Multiply it. So what's the probability of selecting 1,000 in box number 4? So that will be 5/10. So there are 1,000 bills out of 10 bills. Okay? So you need to simplify it. So the answer is 5 over 11, or the equivalent of that one is 0.45. Okay? 5 over 11, or the equivalent of that one is 0.45. So that is Bayes' theorem. Okay? So Bayes' theorem. So Bayes' theorem is a combination of conditional, okay, and multiplication rules. So that's a Bayes' theorem. Thank you.